Hey, student success. Welcome back from spring break. Hopefully everyone enjoyed their time. They were able to relax and get caught up on some things, whatever you needed to get done, and nicer weather is on its way. So, all right, we're going to jump right back into it with week 9. And as I scroll down, I will, of course, remind you of your student services assignment. I don't know if you could expect anything less at this point with those kind of weekly reminders. So now that we are after spring break, of course, we'll pick up here. They have workshops, day one, right after spring break, right away. Of course, hopefully, if you were planning on attending that one, you would have already had to have registered, but you still have a whole second half of the semester's worth of workshops that you can sign up to take. Again, I know some of you are submitting those. I get a couple a week, it seems, so please make sure that you take a look at this schedule, register, and then send me your certificate when you are all completed. Okay, we're going to go ahead and now go all the way down. I know you don't have as far to scroll. I do with all my previous week's folders. And we're going to look here. We are in the week of March 22nd. So we're going to open up to week 9. So week 9 runs from March 22nd through March 28th. There is no discussion forum this week, which means your one assignment is due by Sunday, and that will also count for week 9 attendance. So obviously, if you do not submit your one assignment, you also do not get attendance points for this week. So week 9 is in chapter 11, and it's about taking control of your finances. So we will actually talk about chapter 11 today, and then the assignment in week 10 is kind of like a continuation of this concept of taking control of your finances and looking at that a little bit more. So here we're going to go ahead and take a look at the materials folder, and I'm just going to pull up the chapter 11 link to the textbook, and you see there's a couple other resources in here if you're interested in them. This is again, because chapter 11 is about finance, this is a survey taken in fall of 19 about just financial kind of wellness issues. And it's just a little eye-opening sometimes to kind of think about where people stand with this finance, how overwhelming college debt can be, credit cards. So just kind of eye-opening every time that they release this kind of information. I always find it interesting and something to reflect on. And then there's like a little a calculator, a household budget calculator, if that's something that you think you could benefit from. All right, chapter 11 textbook link does right here. We're taking control of your finances. As I always say, depending on where you are in your life experience, you may already have a good hold on your financial situation. If you're earlier on in your life or your academic career, maybe there are some things you need to focus on. I know that even though I've been managing my household's finances for quite a while, my husband is a full-time stay-home dad, and so we are a one-income family, and so I am very strict with our household budget. So I know even though I've been doing this for a long time, I still always look for tips and tricks and ways to kind of be more creative or, maintain things or whatever the case may be. So there's a quick little, survey about your financial awareness maybe, where do you want to go? Lots of, again, self-reflection. And over on the side, like I usually do, I'll say, kind of really look to see where your attention needs to lie. There's a section on, the goals and realities, which is what we just talked about right here. Do you need to think about making money? Do you need to think about spending less? I'm sure there's someone in your life, whether it's you or someone else where you just kind of think like, oh my goodness, how can they spend this much? Or how can they put so much on their credit cards? And so whether we like it or not, financial information, financial wellness, financial balance, whatever you want to think of it as, is something we all have to think about at some point in our lives and then continuing through, especially if we end up, supporting a spouse or children or a parent or whatever the case is. We always have to be aware of these things. And then some information on financing college. I will say that this section is really important for lots of reasons. Some of you may be paying out of pocket. Some of you might be CCP, so it's not charged right now, but some of you might have to be aware of these financial aid information. And there's information on scholarships and grants, loans, the difference between different kinds of loans, how much you should borrow. So again, I'm really going to emphasize that you take a look at the contents for our chapter. I'll pull that down again, and really look to see, okay, like maybe you feel good about your cash spending, but you don't have credit established and you'd like to, because having good credit is important for your future, buying big, large purchases and that kind of thing. So maybe this is something you want to talk about. Maybe you need to improve your credit, or you need to establish credit. So this will talk about, just being smart with your credit card and with your, credit history and how to build that. So that'll go through all of that, what a credit score looks like, how to protect that. So I think that is important. So if you haven't established credit yet, one thing that I've had students, try and has been successful is getting a low limit credit card, low limit, $250, $500, and just picking one thing every month to spend with that credit card, gas, maybe a couple meals, and then start paying it off, at the end of every month. Make it the minimum payment, if not more, if you can pay it more. And then you're establishing credit, and after about 6 months, you're going to have that credit history there. Another way is if you are have student loans taken out, start paying on them while you're in college. And I know that might not make sense, but if you can even pay $10 or $20 while you're in college on your loans, it starts to establish credit history. And that way you already made a tiny little dent. I'm not saying pay a lot, because you might not be able to, but you already make a tiny little dent in your student loans, because you have about 6 months after you graduate to really start paying. But you could start making those payments early, establish credit, and establish good habits. While we're on the topic of Chapter 11, I do want to talk to you about scholarships. And the reason I really advocate for this, on the Stark State homepage under admissions, paying for college, scholarships, because there is sometimes money literally just sitting waiting for people to apply at Stark State. This happened to me at my high school. I applied for every scholarship I can get my hands on, and for a lot of them, I was the only one who applied, so I was awarded those scholarships. Others were a little bit more competitive. So what I always tell my students is, even if it takes you an hour and you get $250 scholarship, $250 an hour is not bad. So apply for everything you can. So here's the scholarship list and information that we have at Stark State College, and it'll tell you, the deadlines, when you need to apply for them. So look, you have time right now. And then here are some featured scholarships. You'll see some of them do have some GPA requirements, so you'll want to make sure you pay attention to those. And look, the award amount. And then there are some that are degree related, so directly connected to your kind of degrees. And then there are some that are specific populations. There are so many scholarships, and a lot of them, you click on this scholarship application. Here it is. Look at this. Guys, that's it. Look how short that is. So that is for a lot of the general scholarships here, foundation scholarships. Now, if you are looking at external scholarships, that's where they may start saying things like, okay, you need to see this whole list of the scholarships. You need to write an essay. And again, if it takes you an hour or two, but it possibly can give you $1,000, that's time worth spent, in my opinion. And if you're writing a scholarship essay, you can use the Writing Center, because that is school related. It's writing related. It's not for a class, but it's still writing, and the Writing Center will help you with that. So I really sincerely hope that kind of pointing that out, if you didn't know where that was, could be helpful to anyone who was looking for scholarship opportunities. All right, let's go back here. We're going to go ahead and take a look at our one assignment for this week. And it's going to seem a little awkward because it's not necessarily like a financial related assignment. It is a resume related assignment. As I said, in week 10, you'll have a financial related assignment. Excuse me. Chapter 11, you are going to, it's dealing with a resume, as I mentioned. You're going to do two things. The first thing is you're going to make a list of 5 experiences. So maybe that's job experiences, volunteer experiences, an experience, something you've done, something that you've participated in. 5 qualifications, okay? These are skills, abilities, characteristics, and 3 references. Now, not necessarily the names. In general, I would ask my high school English teacher. I would ask my current employer. So just general, that you would use. So you're going to make a list. It can be a bullet point if you want, or you can put it in paragraph form for this part. Make a list of 5 experiences, 5 qualifications, and 3 references that you would put on a future resume. And then question 2, this is where you're going to answer it in 3 to 5 sentences. What kind of job, internship, or other experience could you potentially have that will strengthen your resume? So kind of look to see, what did you create up here? Like, oh man, I could really benefit from an internship, or I could really benefit from taking a workshop on, whatever soft skill. So you're going to talk about what you already have, and then talk about what are you going to earn in the future. So for up here, your qualifications could be that you are pursuing a degree. For down here, number 2, it could be you gain a degree. So those can tie together. Okay, that's option 1, answering those 2 questions. Some of you may already have a resume. So if you already have a resume ready to go, I would first make sure it's updated. So take this time to update it. Look and see, is everything correct, accurate? And you can upload me your resume as long as it hits on these things. And what you might just need to do is answer this question right here. Using your current resume, how could you strengthen it? What you need to add? What do you see as lacking? How could you buff up your resume, so to speak? So if you do not have a resume ready to go, you're just going to answer these 2 questions pretty straightforward. If you already have a resume to go ahead and upload it, and then talk to me about how you could strengthen your resume. So it kind of gives you a little bit of wiggle room there. So when you click in, based on if you have a resume or not, you'll maybe attach it. If you don't have a resume, you'll just click Write Submission and address those questions there. Okay, that is due by Sunday for week 9 attendance. And then in week 10, we will talk more about financial literacy, financial awareness, that kind of thing. So look forward to that. If you have any questions, let me know, and hope you have a great week back from spring break. Bye.